I remember you was on kids TV.
Yeah, all
and then,
kids TV.
And then it was like Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune,
I loved
yeah.
Wheel of... My
No
mum used to love
Limits was
Wheel of
music, Top of the
Fortune.
Pops.
Top of the Pops.
I got into yoga really late. It was actually a mum from school. So I was in my 40s.
Right.
I introduced her to Cacao. I said, I don't know why, but I said, I'm telling you now, Connie, that will lift your mood and it'll help you. And I get a message from him straight away. Hi, Jenny. I think you've left something behind. And I was like, question mark, and he put, your knickers. The UK, so my dad tagged along. So he left all his family there.
Okay.
And my mother and my father and my brother was born then, all came over on the boat with all her brothers and sisters and my grandparents. That's what you do for love. I say, but why have I got to wear my underwear? I'm a TV presenter. I'm a kid's TV presenter. What am I doing standing in my underwear? So I remember in...
Hi guys, today we are joined by the amazing Jenny Powell. If you have had a TV over the last 40 years, you would have seen her on it. She's a presenter, she's a TV personality, she's also a mum of two. She's also going through a little bit of a health crisis at the moment, and we're going to touch on that. So if you want to stay tuned, you want to learn a little bit, she stepped into a yoga journey in her 40s as well, and she's going to share with us all the joy, all the beauty that has brought into her life, how it's allowed her to evolve, how it's allowed the challenges of perimenopausal, menopausal, postnatal depression, all those things, and how it's really supported her on a journey. So this is going to be a banging episode. I actually can't believe we've got Jenny Powell on the Full Power podcast at this early stage, which is totally incredible. I'm looking forward to the show. I hope you're looking forward to the show. Enjoy. Right, hold your cacao to your heart. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Exhale. Just calling in the beautiful energy of Lady Cacao, Vish Cacao, Cacao Deva into this space to open our hearts fully and deeply. Calling in Tikiara to put a bubble of protection around this space. Calling in all our angels, all our guides. Calling our higher self, letting go of anything that's not serving us today. Grounding us into Mother Earth, into Pachamama, into Gaia. Allowing the crystalline grid of Gaia to come up through our roots into our body to allow us to feel grounded, allow the foundations to be set, allowing all our chakras to be open and active now, calling on the highest vibrational energies to come through us now, opening up to the divine wisdom, to the divine consciousness for the greater good of both of us, me, Jenny, this podcast, everything to our families, our tribes, and then just offering all the fruits and benefits of everything that we experience today up to Great Spirit, up to Mother, Father, God, unconditionally for the greater good of me, Jenny, to Adam and Nick, and to all our families, all our tribes, and sending that up unconditionally to all sentient beings for the greater good of the whole universe. And then repeat after me, Jenny. Matiosh, Matiosh, Matiosh.
Matiosh, Matiosh, Matiosh.
Aho.
Aho.
Full power.
Full power.
Full power.
Full power.
Yeah, baby. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, down in one, down in one.
Nice one, nice one, nice one, nice one. So this is
Yes.
Keith. Say, Keith.
All right, Keith?
So Keith is the cacao shaman. Mm-hmm. And that's who I met in Guatemala in 2012.
Right.
And learned everything about cacao and cacao ceremonies.
What took you to Guatemala?
I was on a spiritual pilgrimage for the end of the Mayan calendar. And I was on a kind of like a spiritual quest. I was suicidally depressed, and I had been for quite a few years since my mum died. And I was like, right, I'm going to kill myself. I'm giving myself 3 years to either, this is when I'm going to kill myself if I've not found something to live for within that time. And then I went on this pilgrimage and started learning about energy and about the fact that my mum was still with me, that she lives in spirit, and going on this spiritual mission, realizing all the old paradigms that we'd been brought up in, that it's all bullshit. It's like we see 0.05% of visible light and we think we know stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was just like me just expanding and purging out all the programming from growing up and being a kid, and like, you know, being brought up in a football environment, racist, xenophobic, homophobic, and just purging all that really, and then stepping into my journey of finding who I was.
And through that, and that trip to Guatemala, you found the cacao.
Found the cacao.
Wow.
Yeah. And well, yeah, and many, you know, the yoga's the biggest thing for me. I'm a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
But do you think the cacao, the yoga found you? Or did you find that? That's what I always wonder with these things.
I think Cacao found me because it knew I was the person to take it to where it wants to go to. Mm-hmm. And on a universal level, the cacao is here to open the hearts of the whole planet, which coffee is drunk by the whole planet, tea is drunk by the whole planet. If we can get cacao drunk by the whole planet and eradicate some of the uses of tea and coffee and drugs and alcohol, everybody's going to be living in a lot more bliss. So Ananda is bliss in Sanskrit, and cacao is the only food in the world that contains anandamide, which is the bliss molecule. So it's like, why the fuck are we not drinking bliss every day? Do you know what I mean?
I blame Nescafe.
Yeah.
Those bloody granules full of toxins.
Nescafe. I've not do you know, I've not had anything Nestle, and I loved what's the little
Nesquik you get? Oh, the little sachets.
No, what's the chocolate bar that Nestle make
with the Rice Krispies in?
Yeah, what are they called?
That one.
What was that called?
I don't know, but what was it called?
No,
Crunch?
It wasn't a Crunchy.
No, it was Crunch. It was called Crunch. It was like milk chocolate with little Rice Krispies in it.
It was called Crunch.
Yeah.
Was it?
Really sweet.
I thought it was. No, it was like had caramel in it.
Oh, like you're talking about a toffee crisp.
Toffee crisp. So I fucking loved a toffee crisp, and then I found out what Nestle did to them African babies with the mother's breast milk, and I couldn't have anything off Nestle ever again. I was done with Nestle.
I haven't heard
Nestle
about this
got
story.
the big middle finger. Yeah, don't have anything Nestle, the evil man.
No.
Yeah.
I don't have anything Kellogg's. I don't have anything really where I know that the big corporations are trying to ruin our health and our minds.
Exactly.
It's a big fight though when you've got teenagers to look after and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But we try. We all work in our own little mysterious way. So even though, you know, I might have to deal with mainstream media, etc., I always find a way to just drip feed my beliefs and where I think of. It took me quite a long time. It's really been my 50s where I've discovered my sort of true path, and I still believe to this day your second half is going to be your best half in a woman's world.
Yeah.
Sort of like post-menopause and everything, when really there's been so much negativity, and also it's such a taboo. Yeah. But actually, it's like almost like a big purge. You know, you get rid of those things that your womb was meant to do. And all the rest of it, and it's time to the wisdom comes like full throttle, your experience and your confidence to share, but it's what you're sharing that's important from now on, and just like looking after yourself to sort of, and everybody else to your best capabilities, and that is through, you know, exactly what you're doing and what you believe in. So that's why I'm very proud of you.
Thank you very much. So, welcome Jenny Powell to the Full Power podcast. It's amazing to have Jenny Powell on the podcast. Like, I just remember you as a kid, when I was a kid, being on I think the first time I remember you was on Kids TV.
Yeah,
and then it was like Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
I loved Wheel of. My
No
mum used
Limits
to love
was
Wheel
music.
of Fortune.
Top of the Pops.
Top of the Pops. I remember on that as well. But it's like you were just, you know, a prominent part of watching TV as a kid,
everyone's youth,
and you being on TV. So and then obviously bumping into you at yoga over the last few years, and seeing that you're kind of on that path, and having a little connection, and watching your journey on Instagram, and you're kind of like practicing yoga, trying to learn more about it, and then seeing like, obviously, I guess that kind of, in a lot of ways, becomes a dichotomy in terms of like, well, I'm practicing this, but then I'm working in this mainstream media, which is kind of like, yoga is all about coming out of the mainstream in a lot of ways, and it's revolting against what is the common narrative within that certain time. So, you know, I want to talk a lot about yoga and the kind of contradictions and the disruptions that maybe has towards your TV career, your media career, but then also how yoga's helped you and what it supported you in. So first, like, I want to start actually at the beginning. Like, how did you first get into TV? Or
Well, I was 16 years old, and at the time, TV, I mean, I started when Channel 4 started, so there were only three channels that you could watch, you know, the BBC, BBC One, BBC Two, ITV. And then along came Channel 4, and along came the idea that, the only presenters on television are Radio 1 DJs. Not very many women at all. Marty Kane, I think, and Cilla Black, that was it. And
Love
God bless her. So there was this idea of introducing new young blood onto our screens. And so for the very first time, and it was the very first kind of reality show where they just invited members of the public, Joe Public, to audition, and through an audition then become a household name and be on the telly. It'd never been done before.
Right, and that was on Channel 4.
That was actually on BBC Two. And the show was called No Limits. So we had like an audition that was on the TV, and everybody watched the audition process, and then it was whittled down from like thousands of young people that were just asked to come along, or you volunteered yourself, which I did, to go along for the auditions. Actually in Manchester, at Oxford Road, where the BBC was, we had some great music programmes come out of there, like Oxford Road Show. Do you remember that? Probably not, you're too young. But also the young ones came from there.
Yeah.
It was a real hub of groundbreaking TV shows actually up in Manchester. And this show was called No Limits, and it was breaking new presenters, which was me and another guy who won the audition, and then new music.
Right.
So we discovered Bon Jovi. We introduced Bon Jovi to the UK.
Some people might be upset with you about that.
Sorry, Stevie Nicks. Is that better? Stevie Nicks?
That's a lot better, yeah. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
But some people love Bon Jovi.
Yeah, well, a big head.
Everyone sings along to it. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
But so that was like the actual audition process. Was that a reality show?
Yeah. So we went through a whole process of, and it was sort of process of elimination. You had to interview someone for 30 seconds, and then you had to stand in front of the camera and sell yourself for 3 minutes. I mean, it was quite basic, but when you're 16, it scared the shit out of me. But I just sort of, I'm a great blagger. I blagged my way through it.
And you're not Mancunian though?
No, so
we are naturally good blaggers.
Yeah, well, it's definitely rubbed off.
Yeah.
So I was born down south. So I came up as an Essex girl. I hadn't been north of Watford because I had that typical southern ignorance where I didn't need to go north of Watford. So I got on a coach, came to Manchester, got off near Canal Street. I was like, this is fun. Went to Oxford Road, did the audition, and I phoned my mum and dad up and went, I won, so I'm going to be on the telly.
Amazing.
And that was it. And my dad burst into tears. And I remember going back to Essex where I came from, and he was sitting on the doorstep waiting for me to come back.
Wow.
With crying because he couldn't believe it.
I'm getting little tingles thinking about that. That must be so beautiful.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. And I'll never forget that, actually. I can still see him now. Gorgeous Les. He had the magic.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have discovered these things.
Do you think you got the magic through him?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He was really special. To this day, I mean, he's been gone now for 3 years, but to this day I have people, because they know who I am, like my dad was obviously really proud of me, so we go, he's South African.
Yeah.
And he obviously went here, there, everywhere going, have you seen my daughter Jenny Powell, she's on the telly. So everywhere I go to this day, people tap me on the shoulder, they go, I've met your dad. I go, oh God, not another one. Oh, he was so proud of you. And
Beautiful.
To this day, I still get that. But he came from a place where he was a Cape coloured. So he wasn't black, he wasn't white. My mother was the same, and they lived in a place called District 6, which was where coloured people were allowed to live in Cape Town in South Africa. This is during apartheid.
So coloured is mixed race?
Coloured is a race of people. So we're kind of mixed. Yeah, we're mixed sort of from the Hottentots, which are like the indigenous tribes from there. Bit of Dutch. The Dutch came along. The white Dutchman had a bit of a muck around. So basically, I always say...
mixed mush.
Yeah, we're a mixed mush. Yeah. When you put all your washing, I don't know if you do your washing, you put it in the tumble dryer. Yeah. But all that purpley grey fluff you get caught in the... well, that's us. We're just that... Whatever happens, we're the purpley grey fluff that everyone always ends up with. So he had his own issues. He wasn't allowed to go into bars or go on certain buses. If you were a coloured, you could be a tradesman, a teacher, that's your lot, So he had his own battles to deal with. And I think when he came over to the UK, he was always a people pleaser because he couldn't believe that he could be could work alongside other like white people and go into a pub with white guys. And, it was just, for him, it was a huge revelation and a massive...
So now is the time of the year to go a little bit inward, and we have got a deal for you. We are offering my book, Dealer to Healer, a 500-gram bag of cacao and a Palo Santo for £44. So head over to the website, click onto the little bundle that we're doing, have a cacao, cleanse your space, drop into the book, and escape into the world of my life and everything that's happened. Enjoy the journey. Big love. Why did he come to the UK? What was the reason?
Because I had a very bossy grandmother.
Okay.
So he married my mother, whose mother was sort of, she was very stoic, and she was a housekeeper, and my grandfather was a chauffeur. That's, again, what you could be if you were coloured. And she said, right, we're going to get chucked out of District 6 because the white government want to take over the area and build their nice fancy houses. So I'm not having it because they're chucking us out. They're not giving us any money, and we're going to have to go and live elsewhere here in Africa. It's not going to be great. So I've hired a house in a place called Essex, man. I mean, why she chose Essex, God help us. She said, I bought you all boat tickets and we're going to get on the boat.
Yeah.
And we're going to go over. You can bring your husbands or whatever, and we'll rent this house out. And then bit by bit, you can all find your way in the world in the UK. So my dad tagged along. So he left all his family there.
Okay.
And my mother and my father and my brother was born then, all came over on the boat with all her brothers and sisters and my grandparents. So he did as he was told. That's what you do for love. So he left his family there, who are still there now. Right. And they were quite active during sort of, obviously, when the release of Mandela and everything. They all work at the university there in Cape Town. But we all work in different ways. But I think that people pleasing and that being I think for him to survive or feel confident, I think he always felt he had to be an entertainer when he came here. Like, he'd be the person to say, bloody hell, I'm the only bloody white person in this village, Jenny. When he moved to the Peak District, because he was, and he'd go, I don't know, he'd get away with murder. Like, we'd be in a pub and he'd go, bloody white men, bloody can't stand them. He said, Dad, you can't say that. So he was cheeky.
But he was social.
But he was very sociable. He wanted to win. He wanted everybody's approval when I think about it. And the way he could do that was to be entertaining and very funny. So I'm not saying I'm any of those, but if I could be just 5% of my dad, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Well, you've got his genes because you look great. And I remember you posting a picture of him, I think when he was 90 or so. I was like, how the hell does he look that good?
Yeah.
He looks amazing.
Yeah. Good genes, man. Good genes.
Good genes.
But, you were talking about, dealing with your mother's, passing. And see, I smile when I talk about him because he is everywhere.
Yeah.
But I made that decision and I realised that myself. Very quickly. Yeah. I don't know why, but I've always found huge comfort, and I've always nourished myself knowing that he's all around. It really fed me this energy and this sense of just being complete, and I've no fear of death. So
did you have that from an early age? So if he would have died, say, when you was in your 20s, would you have still felt that? Because for me, I would feel that if my mum died now, but at the time I didn't have any of that knowledge or understanding. It was just like, she's gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She'd always horrified me. We weren't allowed to talk about death.
Right.
Don't talk about that. Don't speak about that. It's morbid. Bang, bang, bang. It was bump. So it was just like, you had no preparation.
No. I think he always prepared us because he'd go, in my funeral, I want you to sit in the front of the car in the hearse. He was like that. Oh, you'll miss me when I'm gone. And most people would say, even at his funeral, they were saying, gosh, remember, your dad was like 65 and he was saying, I'm going to die next year. So I think he did. He prepared us all in an entertaining way. But I think he did. He did sort of, subconsciously, I did feel prepared. And I think that's why. Because he always used to go on about it. Dad, don't tell me you're going to die again.
But it's good though, because he is. We all are. It's like, why not talk about it? It's like we get excited when someone's pregnant and they're going to have a child. Yeah. And we might as well talk about death the whole time, because it's the only one thing it's certain during life. You know what I mean? So it's like, embrace it, enjoy it, look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Really?
However,
right? Don't not yet though.
No, not yet.
All right, okay.
No, that's the caveat, is to enjoy all moments of life and live the richest life that I can live.
Yeah.
However, look forward to dying, because when I'm dying, I'm free from this body and I can experience everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm stuck in here at the moment. Whereas when I'm out of this and hopefully do a really good job on this level of this game and excel and get to a higher level, then I can go and experience even more beautiful things.
It's the next level.
Next level, baby.
That's what I think. Yeah.
So when you was a kid,
Yeah.
did you were you watching TV and going, I want to be on TV, I want to be on TV?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I was always drawn to like Saturday mornings TV, and I don't know, then we didn't really talk about manifestation, did we? Or sending out the right energy, but I was definitely manifesting being on the Saturday morning couch or, counter with a puppet. Okay. I used to watch, and I've worked with a few Muppets as well, to be fair. But it is manifestation, and it was happening then. Yeah. And I used to watch Noel Edmonds in those ridiculous jumpers that we can still see now. Yeah. And I used to think, I'd love to do that. I want to do that. I think it was the connection that you could get with other people in this strange medium, And I thought, wow, what a way to just like connect with the masses, and have fun and entertain everyone. It was obviously quite simplistic because I was just a whippersnapper, but I definitely, when I look back, was manifesting it. And it was kind of, who else was it? It was sort of like, even, do you remember Mike Smith? You won't know Mike Smith, but another radio one. But they were kind of fronting all these shows at the time.
Early 80s?
Yeah, early 80s. And lo and behold, like the first ever time when you could just come off the street literally and audition and get a job doing exactly that, I did it. So 16
into that limelight.
Yeah.
Was that kind of like from that moment full on? You was full-time TV presenter, you was on TV.
That was it.
And so how did your life change then from living with your mum and dad in Essex to then being on TV? You moved to Manchester at 16?
I moved about 17. Right, I went up because we sort of supposed to do one series, and then we ended up doing them all for like 3 or 4 years. So I stayed. I hate it when your voice goes up like an American, when you talk like that. And I just did it. I hate it.
It's like so New York. Did I do it?
No, I did it.
Oh my God.
Don't do it. It's horrible.
I won't do it.
No, it's so like fickle and sort of fake. Yeah. Don't know why I did it.
If you want to be an international yoga teacher, apparently you've got to do that. Just come down and rest onto your favourite cheek.
Yeah. You don't do that, do you?
Do I do that? You don't. Why would I have a favourite cheek? I was like, when someone said that for the first time, I was like,
what, bum cheek or cheek cheek?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm thinking, but my arse cheek is probably my favourite cheek. Like there's more to it than the one. Who has a favourite cheek on their face? Like, do people do that? Do you have a favourite cheek on your face?
Middle cheek? That'd be my nose, wouldn't it?
We digress. Go on.
Yeah, we do. What were we talking about?
Moving to Manchester.
Just testing. Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm good at this.
So, about 17, I arrived. And I suppose it was all, for me, it was all about, I didn't really have I didn't go out or anything. I was just filming. So my family were like the crew. And back in the day when the budgets were bigger, you had a big crew. Like you had a lighting guy and a lighting assistant. You had a PA, you had a researcher, and you had like 3 cameramen. As opposed to now where it's just a DP. He just does everything. And sort yourself out, Jenny. Do your own research and light yourself, all that. So I kind of was in this little hub of people that I befriended, and sort of a way of life. We were on the road a lot, but it wasn't a bad thing. But it was obviously different. But I managed to keep my feet on the ground, and I think it was because I was based in Manchester. I'm not being biased.
You can't get too big for your boots in Manchester.
You can't, can you?
No.
No way. No way. And Anthony Wilson did say I can be a token Mancunian. He did say, so it is official. Okay. I am a Mancunian now.
That's good.
I mean, if you have the choice, you don't want to be an Essex girl, do you? Jeezy. No offence, everyone, but bloody hell.
What?
I used to talk like that and everything. If you go on YouTube, like my daughters now go, oh my God, Mum, did you talk like that? And I'm like,
did you have that accent then when
you
first broke onto TV?
Yeah. I was like, hello, everyone. And like Top of the Pops. Here, next up, they've gone up 4 places in the charts. It's the Happy Mondays. That's literally... I did have to introduce.
So did you have to have like religious counselling to sort of eradicate that from your system, or
it just
faded away?
No, it was my agent. She went, Jenny, you can't talk like that. You'll have to. Yeah, it was actually.
I had
elocution, well, only twice.
Okay.
But then the rest of it, I just thought, Jenny, just calm it down a bit. And just, I found this little niche. I thought a nice sort of like mysterious bit of a mixed up northern twang would be good. Yeah, now it's the thing, isn't it?
So
People love a northern accent.
Like posh northern.
Posh northern, well, there you go, see? Not Essex.
No, not Essex.
But does it put you off now, about the Essex thing? Be careful.
Bit, yeah.
Oh,
little bit.
Okay.
It's kind of screechy in the ear, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like
horrible.
A little bit like...
It's so cringe.
We love you. Everyone from Essex, we love you.
We do.
We do love you.
Yeah, just be careful with your accent.
It's a little bit like Scouse. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Jesus.
I mean, we could look. Let's not just.
We've got to get cancelled from everywhere,
accents.
Yeah. Like some people don't like the Mancunian accent. So
I can't believe that.
No, I can't either. I just thought.
I love a bit of alright.
You've got to cover yourself, haven't you?
Hey, alright. Love it.
Alright.
Especially when you're having yoga. Yeah. There's nothing better than a Mancunian yoga instructor. Ladies, there isn't though, is there?
I don't know. My classes were busy though.
I bet. But Gareth, we've got a mutual mate called Gareth, right? I never forget, and this is so on PC. And I remember him walking around, right? And he went, this is in Cheshire, so it's posh Manchester. And he's like, blood, look at all these asses we were doing a downward dog. And Gareth goes, look at all these asses in the air. I could fucking slap every single one of them. Jesus. And I'm there in my downward dog thinking, this isn't very yogi or very PC. I won't say his last name because he'll be cancelled, but who says that? But only in a Manc accent can you get away with that.
Do you know when all that Patabi Joyce stuff come out where there was like the me movement and all that? So I went into my yoga class and was like, listen, like if anybody thinks that is inappropriate, come here, you got something like that.
It's probably your chocolate. Your cacao. Oh, is it?
No, it was a little bit of
what
stuff. I don't know what it was. I don't know what you've picked up. I don't know where you've been.
Essex froth.
Essex
that's
froth.
Disgusting.
No, so this the whole. She's got a massive tongue as well. Did you see that? Did you get that? She's got a huge tongue. Jesus Christ, that is a big one. That.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I'm not a man, so it's useless. Maybe I'm growing it to do my own.
See, now your lesbian contingency of fans is just going to have like exponentially grown overnight now.
I always get chatted up in the ladies' loo as well, and it always starts with, "Can I borrow your hairspray?" And I'm like, "I'm not a lesbian." No, nothing against it, but I'm not.
And then they get like excited.
Maybe I could do a hacker.
Jesus Christ.
The cacao hacker. To prepare yourself, and then just net your cacao. Cacao hacker, you need to do one of those.
Okay, Adam, make a note of that, please.
And then you could show your chocolate on the tongue. Sorry.
So yeah, the Patabi choice, whole Me Too movement was coming. And I went into my yoga class, I was like, listen, if anybody ever feels that you're being inappropriately touched, just let me know because it wouldn't be intentionally. And, in a sweaty class, it's busy, there's 40 people, there's bodies, there's limbs everywhere. I'm trying to adjust people and move around the room. I went, so just let me know. Don't let it go 10 years and say, I've been inappropriately touching you for 10 years.
Too right.
Please bring it up immediately. I said, so there's never intentional and inappropriate touching. And this woman put her hand up. I went, yes. She went, can I please be inappropriately touched?
But that says it all, doesn't it?
Jesus Christ, man.
It's opened up a can of worms, this wokiness, hasn't it?
Yeah. Because actually, in the yoga class, when I would spend the time at the end to give the women a little back massage, a little kind of head massage, they were just like, that's one of the best moments of my week.
It is.
You know, some of them maybe don't get touched, maybe don't have that kind of sensation, that feeling, and they're just like, it's so beautiful and it feels safe.
Yeah.
And it's like you're giving something that's really beneficial. They've had this practice and then they've had the Shavasana and they feel like they're being pampered. Do you know what I mean? And that's beautiful, man. Like to
and it's
get
that
round
physical
40 people.
connection.
Yeah.
Because I'm really huggy like that. You know, I do a lot of events and stuff.
Yeah.
And even now, I mean, you can call me crazy, but I find that's my little way of, like you would with the yoga, that's how I try to do it with my sort of hosting and my events, and people come up on stage and I hug every single person. And I feel like, you know, if they tap into it, they've got a little bit of energy there.
Definitely,
And
because you are passing energy. You're connected into that person's aura, their energetic field, their biochemistry.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can have a little influence on that, that's really,
why
really
we
beautiful.
all work in our own ways. And like you were saying, how I can transfer it into this sort of this genre, this kind of work that I do, where you say it is a bit like, how can you be a yogi but then do what you do?
Yeah.
You can. I tell you
can,
what's like really prevalent at the moment is I do a lot of festivals, right? So I MC all these big festivals.
What, like over...
Like 40,000 people.
MC to grime, or you MC to like drum and bass?
What? It's 80s, 90s music,
it was like
really.
a garage MC.
No,
not a garage MC.
Yeah, no, I mean just like host them on stage.
Okay, I've got you.
So you know, there's like 40,000 people, and you can connect with them, and you can give your energy. And most people this year, I did about 12 festivals, right? And every single place I went backstage to go, oh my God, you've given out such a great energy to all those people.
Beautiful.
And I said, you give and you receive, and it's an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of just working on that now, like en masse, in my own little weird way.
Beautiful. What sort of festivals was you doing? Like
80s and 90s, quite
big music
retro.
festivals?
Yeah, big music ones, yeah.
Oh,
so
awesome.
even with the artists and stuff, you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
There have been some really interesting artists that, you know, and you have a little chat and you find out who the spiritual ones are and who, you know, the ones that you can connect with. And, you know, they're the ones that have the best response as well with the, you know, with the audience.
Yeah.
And when you watch at the side of the stage, you can see it, you can feel it.
If you are interested in holding your own cacao ceremonies for your community, then come and train with us at Full Power Cacao Facilitator Training. We've got 2 dates coming up in 2025. Just head over to the website, check out the details, and book on if it is calling you. Now, back to the podcast. Because even
I really
the ones,
enjoy it.
especially a lot of like creatives and artists, they're tapping into this spiritual realm anyway to connect in with what they're connecting in with. Some of them just aren't aware of what it is.
No.
So the ones that are, it's really, really beautiful, really special to see people on the journeys. It's like, I'm always waiting for this current rock band to have their spiritual awakening like the Beatles did, you know, to have that shift.
Yeah.
I'm like, when was the last time that happened? Like,
Well, there aren't really any
public?
bands anymore, is there, either?
Yeah, but you know,
it's
you've
just...
got Arctic Monkeys, you've got the Blossoms, you've got...
Yeah.
You really want someone to go through a shift that actually takes the public with them, because obviously the Beatles doing what they did made millions of people globally explore that spiritual path.
Well, what instrument can you play? I can sing.
I can play the harmonium.
Well, there you go. Well, maybe it's us.
What should we be called?
We'll have to have Cacao Powell. Essex Froth.
Essex Froth, I love it, yeah. It's going to go down well. Just Curtan at working men's clubs.
Got to start somewhere.
Exactly. It's the foundation.
Yeah.
So when you...
No, I get that though about those. Where are those people? Because you know, we're getting influenced enough by some of the music industries in the other end of the scale, which is very dangerous and, you know, really conditioning a lot of people, a lot of young people.
Yeah.
You know, I find it all. To be honest with you, it's so demonic it's not good. It's horrible. You know, we won't go there because that's another rabbit hole. But
there's some beautiful music as well coming up, because I'm like a little bit obsessed with a genre of music called sacred drill.
Okay.
Do you know drill music? It's like it's kind of like a sort of rap, hip hop, R&B. It's pushed on from that genre.
No.
It's quite.
Oh.
But the
Can you do some now?
No, I can't do any. But the mainstream artists, it's quite kind of like gangster.
Right.
It's quite dark.
Yeah.
It is demonic in a lot of ways. But then Sacred Drill is talking about yoga, manifestation, Christ conscious energy. Like there's a few artists that I'll tap you into.
Will you?
Because I saw this artist at a festival last year called Mr. Auden Allen.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? He's like doing drill music because I like the beat.
Yeah.
But I never liked the lyrics.
No.
And then I was like, oh my God. So I was like, watched him, was obsessed with him, followed him online, booked him to come and play at my birthday. And then because of his algorithm that came into my Spotify weekly, it was there's a whole genre of sacred drill and all these different artists. There's a girl called Monita who I thought, I was like listening to her music. I thought, wow, this girl's like global. And she had like 10,000 followers on Instagram. And I thought she was American. She's from London. And I'm like, you need to check Monita out. Oh my God.
Right,
and the positivity that she's spitting in her lyrics is
what we need.
Divine.
Yeah.
She's got a tune called I'm a Witch, I've Got Powers.
Oh,
just
that's
like all
one.
the tunes are just unbelievable.
Oh, I'm so having that
So it's like I am in my head, they're already global superstars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are they not? But it's because it's positive. And it's like
Don't want any of that, do they? Look at the movies we got. Where's a lovely rom-com? What's happened to a lovely rom-com?
We need Matthew McConaughey to get back into rom-coms.
Don't we?
Matthew, stop doing the serious shit.
Doom
rom-coms.
and gloom and the end of the world. I wonder why. Do you know what, though? Talking about the music, I found the 528, like the frequencies. I put the frequencies on in the morning. You know, your teenage kid comes down and goes, what is that? And I'm like, shh, let me sage your feet.
Yeah.
I won't burn your school socks at the same time. Let me sage your feet. So, you know, I'm working in mysterious ways. But yeah, so I'm into the frequencies, but I'm going to look up Monita.
Monita, yeah, check it out. I'll
All
send
right,
you
thanks.
Monita and Mr. Auden Allen.
I like Billy Ocean, if that's a fair swap. Nice guy.
Yeah, but lyrics aren't as good. Not as positive as Monita.
Caribbean Queen's quite cool. The going gets tough, the tough get going.
That is a
Thank you.
good chunk. But still, it's about toughness. Life's as tough as you want to make it, innit?
Yeah.
You can make it easy, you can make it tough. It's your choice.
Yeah,
All is a choice, Jenny, isn't it?
It is always a choice. And as long as it's all about from within, that's what I've learned. It took a while, but that's why whatever's going on in the world, especially at the moment, it's all from within.
So
be all right.
So when you got into TV, so you know it's probably all exciting, amazing. You was like, wow, parents are dead proud of you. You know, you're probably doing well financially, which is amazing. When was there like a bit of a like, oh, there's a darkness within this industry? When was the first realization of that?
I suppose when you get involved with, for me, I suppose it was like, it sounds so crass, but like lads mags, they all started sniffing about, you know, and then all of a sudden you were like, oh, you've got to do this lads mags because everybody else is doing it. And you better do it as well. And you were getting, and I remember having a photo shoot for Loaded, Mcing.
I remember and then Loaded and FHM.
Yeah, and FHM. Yeah. And I remember saying, look, I wear my underwear. I said, but why have I got to wear my underwear? I'm a TV presenter. I'm a kid's TV presenter. What am I doing standing in my underwear? So I remember insisting on having a blouse and they had a wind machine. I said, I'll do it if I can have a blouse over the top and this. I thought, what am I doing? And that's when everything sort of got a bit weird. But then people were like looking into your private life, or, you know, people were naming and people were accusing. What was it called? When all these women started saying, oh, you know, it's difficult. It's a touchy subject for me because but I started feeling uncomfortable then because our private lives were all getting far more interesting to other people.
Was that more from like media, newspapers? Was there an expectation on your behaviour from your employers? Like,
yeah, I mean it was different coming from children's telly because, you know, really I automatically thought, well, you know, I can't go partying and I can't, you know, I didn't really drink much. I never did drink. I've never had Coke in my life.
Right.
And nobody believes me after 40 years. They're like, what?
You'd be a nightmare on coke.
Industry.
You speak quick enough as it is. Imagine her on coke. Jesus Christ.
It's cacao's enough for me. But so I kind of had this there was this unsaid for me where, well, if I want to have a career in this and I want to stick to it, I can't do all those things. So I was relatively boring. And, you know, I did have, my phone was hacked though, and all that stuff. It's all that side of things where it all got a bit messy. And I thought, why can't I just be a presenter and like make people laugh and introduce Scooby-Doo? Why can't life just always turn letters round and ping? You know, what's all this other shit that comes with it?
So when did you first get into yoga? When did that first happen?
Late. I got into yoga really late. It was actually a mum from school. So I was in my 40s.
Right.
And she went, Jenny, you need to do this hot yoga. I think you'd really enjoy it. And my partner, I never, Martin, so he's a physical therapist, but he's always looked into health in a holistic way. He's the first person to tell me about coconut oil and clean food, but way back when. Yeah. And about the FDA and the WEF, everything, right? And I was saying, what are you talking about? And he's been right about everything so far. Yeah. It's the biggest sort of I told you so on the planet. But
we need to get him on then. He might be a prophet for what's coming in the future.
Actually, you should.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's got it all.
Yeah, brilliant.
He knows. Yeah, he said, you should do yoga. I think it'd be really good for you as well. I was like, what? No, because I was one of those people, unless I was sweating cobs, you know, and like knackered and like pumping iron, I was like, nah, it doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. But I didn't realise the effect it would have. So I went on his advice and this mum from school, and I gave it a few goes because I was like, I'll stick with it, but I'm not sure. And then it just all clicked. And I realised the connection between your mind, your body, spiritually, and just, it was medicine for me. It was, and I didn't realise how much I needed it.
So there was a requirement for this. Was you being advised to go based on some changes in your behaviour or ways you would?
Yeah, I think it was probably the beginnings of perimenopause, actually.
I like saying in a Brummie accent. Say it with me. Perimeno.
Yeah, I was going through perimenopause. Right, like that. It was all peri.
It wasn't lovely.
No, it's not nice, especially the ripple effect for everybody else, because you're really like up and down all the time. Yeah, it wasn't.
So it's almost like a little bit bipolar-y. But
because what happens is it creeps up on you, and all of a sudden you say, God, why did I say that? That's not me. Yeah. And then, why can't I remember anybody's, especially being a presenter, I just can't remember anything, you know. And I changed, yeah. And at the time, you don't know. It's very difficult to this day, and I know a lot more about it than I did. It's very hard for most women, I think, to even recognise, oh my gosh, this is the start of a big change, you know. And it can go on for years. I mean, I think I've been going through it for at least 10 years.
Menopausal, so it can be like a 15.
Yeah, mine's definitely 10 years now.
Yeah, right, okay.
10 years, and I'm still not through it at 56.
And you found that yoga has been the medicine for it, 100%.
Totally. Yeah. Well, obviously, hormonally it helps, especially hot yoga, as you well know. Yeah. And physically as well, because I think just for my mobility and my flexibility, it's been huge. But also just for my mind, just when you're going through this, you are literally in this tumble dry of emotions all the time. You feel like there's nothing you could do about it. You wake up, never mind everybody else, you wake up thinking, who am I waking up as today? You know.
Tonight, Matthew.
Scary, yeah. Oh, I did that. I was Janet Jackson.
Was you?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Did you win?
No.
Oh, well.
Should have, but I didn't.
It's Janet's fault. Wasn't a strong enough song.
Together again. Everywhere I go, every smile I see. Yeah. But I found yoga was really, it came to me at the right time. Yeah. And I think it found me. And it's the one thing most women, you know, on my socials, etc. You know, how come you're coping so well? How come you know, you look the way you do, and da 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 da. And I always put sleep and yoga.
Yeah.
And cacao.
And cacao. And now cacao.
Now cacao.
Yeah. And are you finding the cacao is helping? Because I get at least a message a day off a woman saying,
really?
"Oh my God, the cacao's like totally changed my like mentality, the way I'm being." The best one we ever had was I got a message off this woman. She was like, "Hi, my name's I can't remember what her name was, Jeanette, and I've been having my period for 17 years.
Yeah.
About 5 days before my period, it's horrific. It's horrific through my period." And she went, "And then I have like, you know, a couple of weeks of normality."
Being all
she
right.
went, "I started drinking your cacao.
Yeah.
And for the first time in 17 years, I came on my period without knowing that I was coming on my period." And she was like, "I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's changed my life." And I was just like,
wow.
That's the most... Like, that's worth everything that I do. Just that one, like...
So what will that be in it?
So that's because you're getting depleted with iron and magnesium during the build-up to period, during the period, perimenopausal, menopausal. Cacao is high in magnesium and iron. But also, cacao is an adaptogen. So whatever's out of balance within the system, cacao's trying to pull it into balance and harmonise it. So when people say, "Oh, is it good for high blood pressure?" It's like, it's good for blood pressure, low or high, because it's a regulator.
It'll work it out,
so
right.
like stem cell regeneration, for doing yoga as well, it's muscle recovery because of the protein, the iron, the magnesium, the flavonoids, which is great for the cognition. So again, women, when you've got that
brain
thoughts
fog
of,
and
it's oxygenating your brain.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's allowing, it's like, oh wow, it's freed me up a little bit. Why is my brain feel a little bit clearer? And that's because of the flavonoid content within the cacao and the magnesium. So it's just giving the brain that breather. And then it's also, because it's mainly a heart medicine, it's opening the capillaries in the arteries around the heart on a physical level, on a spiritual and consciousness level. Cacao is wanting everybody to be living the life purpose. So it's the anandamide is allowing manageable amounts of serotonin, dopamine, phenethylamine, tryptophan to be released within the body. So these are our bliss hormones, our feel-good chemicals, and also they're just natural antidepressants, natural mood enhancers. So when the mood drops, for women, it's just allowing it to...
And that is right. So, I mean, I'm not anywhere near as professed as you are. I just know how I feel when I have it, right? That's all I can go on.
Yeah.
So I've got a 24-year-old daughter. She's up and down like a bloody yo-yo with the hormones and everything, and periods and moods, especially after COVID, right? That messed them all up. That generation are truly messed up, right?
Yeah.
I introduced her to cacao. I said, I don't know why, but I said, I'm telling you now, Connie, that will lift your mood and it'll help you through those times when you're up and down like that. And she's all like, Mom, will you send me some more cacao? I'm like, Amazon again, yes, okay.
Oh, beautiful.
But and she notices the difference. And you should do a thing about menopause and cacao and do a whole, like you could do the yoga and then we can have a little menopause cacao ceremony or something.
Well, my friend Joanna, who used to be my business partner with like the yoga raves and stuff, she did a menopause festival, and now she's like a womb healer as well. So she does a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of people who do a lot of stuff with menopause and womb and breath and women's work are using our cacao within their groups. So I'm having a hysterectomy, so I'll be womb free in a few days. A womb with a view. A womb with a view. I've not heard that one yet. So, I'm thinking and I'm hoping that it's going to help me because all sorts is going to be going on. It's really complicated, isn't it? Because I'm sort of going through my menopause. So I'm presuming that sort of like connection of, oh my gosh, I can't have babies anymore doesn't really equate with me because I can't anyway. Yeah. But I'm wondering, and I'm presuming that it's really going to help me. Yeah, because to go through this process. 100%, because it also, like, even just the energy and the spirit of Lady Cacao is holding space for you. When you're ingesting the cacao, the spirit of cacao is comforting you in whatever you're going through. So it's kind of like, it's like, imagine there's an edge. Cacao's just taking the edge off it. And also the rich nutritional content within
With
cacao
the iron as well,
is just filling you up with whatever's getting depleted. The girl who I was talking about, who had her womb out, who was on our podcast, Jenny Priestner, and she just says like cacao has been a game changer for her. She's like, before she came to the first ever cacao ceremony, she was like, I was done. I was going to kill myself. And she was like, come to the cacao ceremony. That was the catalyst. And everything that we spoke about, she just cried all the way through the ceremony. The cacao was working with her. Some people just connect with it instantly. Other people, it's a slow burner. Regardless of if it's instant or it's a slow burner, the cacao's doing its work within your body instantly. Do you know what I mean? Well, not instantly. It takes 30 minutes to like come into the body. If you want it to be a bit quicker, just have a little bit of chili with it.
Oh, I love chili.
Because it opens it up into the bloodstream a little bit quicker. If you want to get 11% off every order and make sure you never run out of full power cacao, just head over to the website at checkout, hit subscribe and save. You'll get 11% off every order. It will be delivered to your door every month. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything's taken care of. So head over to the website, make that hit, and you have got this covered. Now back to the podcast, Full Power.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm glad I came on.
You probably didn't do ecstasy, but it was like, you know, ways to make you come up a bit quicker.
I'll be petrified. I've done mushroom chocolate.
Mushroom chocolate,
Yeah. I always called it cybacillin, and my other half's like, no, it's psilocybin, Jenny, get it right. But yeah, just a little bit, it's quite nice. But you have to be in the right place for that.
So how did you avoid ecstasy being in Manchester in the 90s?
I avoided everything. I had a spliff, like the odd spliff.
How dare you?
With it, like, it might have been because it was a boyfriend who had it. So I was like, oh God, I better join in. But other than that, my only vice, a hand on heart, was like Jack Daniels.
Drinking?
Like a couple, no, not drinking, but literally I'd have a couple of Jack Daniels and that was it. Right. I'm so boring, so boring.
But you're not boring. I mean, you just don't need substances to have a good time.
No,
which is
not
a blessing.
Interested.
And
not interested.
Do you think that was because...
But shouldn't I? You see, shouldn't I? I'm always thinking, because everyone keeps talking about ayahuasca and all this, right? And I'm thinking, oh, I've got to do it. It's going to, you know. But then I think, well...
But it depends if it's
calling you. I don't feel the calling for it. I keep bumping into people who've had it. And I enjoy a little bit of mushroom chocolate. But even then, I don't think I'm doing it properly. I get a bit giddy. And I feel a bit...
If you want to do a plant medicine journey, like you're drinking plant medicine now. Yeah. It's a plant medicine. It depends how, like, a lot of us that are going on these journeys have got traumatic, treacherous upbringings. Right. Like what we've been through as children, like we're trying to cleanse it, clear it, purify it, step into who we are. But maybe, I don't know what was yours. That's what I mean. You might have had a beautiful upbringing,
it's all right,
which means you're not then having to clear a load of shit that your
I had
parents
a bad divorce, but that was it. So maybe
your upbringing was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I feel a bit like, I feel I ought to, but I don't really need to.
Why do you feel that you ought to, though?
Because
everybody else is
cool
doing it.
People like you, and I'm like, yeah. And then I'll get a tattoo. And then I'll get a big puck-off feather in my ear. That'll be it.
One day, Jenny, one day you'll be like Liam. You can get there.
Day.
No, but you don't need. If you don't need it, it's not necessary.
The one thing with the mushroom chocolate, and I'm literally I had a piece that big, and I was underneath the stars, and we took the camper van out, and it was, I felt like. I felt a clarity. All I felt like was like, oh my youngest daughter's 15. I thought, oh my God, I've got my brain. I feel like Pollyanna. You know, when they have that, everything's just quite clear and sort of just, there's no fogginess or complications. Just like, well, it's like that. And I felt this clarity. And I thought, wow, but that was it. And I thought, oh, that was quite nice. Because, the busyness, the noise in my head had gone. But maybe you're right. I don't really need it. But cacao I do in the mornings. I look forward to it. Yeah. And it just sets me up. And I'm really thankful that I've discovered it.
And what do you feel you get from it then?
It's just that mood booster. Instead of that, I used to feel like bad about, oh my God, I've got to get up and have a coffee.
Yeah.
And then I went through
the day.
Yeah. And then I went through that, I'm going to have 2 glasses of warm water with some lemon and ginger. I thought, no, that's a bit wank. I thought, no, I've done that. And then the whole cacao thing, I thought, no, this is right. Because like you say, 20 minutes later, I'm set up. I know I'm not going to have that big dip
Yeah.
If I had coffee.
Yeah.
And it was a mood, but it sort of like when you do your, your mantras or when you wake up, and I always wake up. The minute I wake up, I do a little affirmation and then I smile, physically smile, because I think physically smiling really helps.
Totally,
you feel a bit of a nerd, but
we make everyone do it in the cacao
do
ceremony.
You?
We make the smile of the heart spread throughout the whole body. So Keith, this is one of his meditations. Allow the smile of your heart to be released throughout your whole body. Feel it in your chest, feel it down your legs.
Yeah.
Feel like your toes are smiling, feel like your arms are smiling, feel like the back of your head's smiling, feel like your face is smiling. Fucking smile.
Yeah.
Smile a bit wider, smile uncomfortably wide.
Yeah.
And then if we say, if you're not smiling, we're going to come and fucking tickle you. If you're still not smiling, we're going to come and put crocodile clips on your fucking cheeks so that you do smile. And then Barbara, who's a miserable bastard in the front row, you're getting a sticker that says miserable bastard. And by the time you've said that, everyone's smiling.
Ow, so I haven't been going mad. I've been doing the right thing.
Perfect. You've been tuned into Keith with the cacao.
But I spent my career doing that as well.
Yeah, it changes your energy instantly, doesn't it?
You know, I've had to smile, even when I've not wanted to smile. If you think about the connection there, you know, I have had to smile since I was 16 years old, through illness, divorces, deaths, you name it. You know, my job is, well, sorry about that, love, but you've been paid to go up, do that, and smile. So maybe deep down, you know, I was meant to do what I do. Totally.
And do you think that, you know, because some people don't have that resilience.
No.
It's like, do you think it's, you have that resilience because you kind of had no choice?
Yeah.
Or is that in you to be able to like, right, I'm just going to get through this right now and I'm going to turn it on?
I think it's in me.
Right.
And maybe that's something to do with, you know, my heritage. Maybe it's from where we've come from.
Yeah.
You know, from the whole South African thing and apartheid and stuff. And, you know, you put on a brave face and you got to get on with it.
Yeah.
And even my youngest now, I say to her, I said, are you all right about this? Or, you know, it's a bit tough this. And she goes, Mum, I've got to get on with it. I thought, oh, wow, it's filtering through to her.
Up, crack on.
Yeah, I've got to get on with it, haven't I? And I was like, yeah, I suppose you have.
Well, that's good, because I think in some ways that this next generation are losing a little bit of that kind of like grit, that kind of being able to graft. Oh
God, everything's too easy. They're just all flipping, just sit back and wait for it to come to them, and it's not. Yeah. They're all entitled. We don't have entitlement in our house. But there's a lot of entitled people
around.
Yeah, a lot. Certain generation, they're going to have a shocker.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it wasn't even in our vocabulary back in the 80s.
Exactly.
You have to earn it. But all this entitlement, we need to have a purge.
Definitely.
Purge your entitlements.
Yeah, get grounded.
Yeah,
I think that's what with the plant medicines as well. It's like this reconnection to Mother Nature, to the earth, to realise that we're all part of it, to realise that we are all one.
Yeah.
White, black, orange, whatever, gay, straight, whatever it is. It's like we're all one. Just like, you know, accept everybody. If you don't agree with what they're doing, just don't be part of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't write a post about it. Do you know what I mean? Just let them crack on. As long as they're not hurting anybody, let people do whatever they want.
IX wireless towers that are going everywhere. I do sort of go on about that. But otherwise, I know what you're saying, yeah.
I don't even know what they are.
Oh, right, it's okay. But it's,
Oh, you can tell me about them later.
Yeah. They keep popping up and they don't even let you know they're doing it. And they're putting up these poles everywhere saying that it's to help us out, but it's not frying our brains. But anyway,
frying our brains, yeah. And I felt that because I now live in the countryside.
Oh, I bet you noticed.
So since I've been in Manchester the last couple of days, I feel like it's like I feel bombarded. My brain is like felt a bit discombobulated the last couple of days since I've been back in Manchester, especially in the city centre, because I kind of like I don't really go past Wythenshawe, because our offices are in Wythenshawe, so it's a little bit out. You've got the airport and stuff, still got, but it's kind of like I just come off the motorway, get there, and then skip around a little bit, but I don't come into the city because I feel
it's the Matrix.
It's on my case. Do you know what I mean?
In the Matrix, aren't you?
Full Matrix.
I'm so jealous of you and your existence. So now, because I am so drawn to moving out now, away, and I want to be near the water.
You'll have to. Well, we are 10 minutes from the sea, And Ceredigion is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Nobody's heard of it.
No, I was
it's a county. So have you heard of Cardigan?
Wait, I'm going to put it in my phone now.
Have you heard of Cardigan?
So
Cardigan's a really small town.
Yeah, I've heard of Cardigan.
Yeah, so Cardigan's like in Ceredigion.
How do you spell it?
And the beaches, I don't know how you spell Ceredigion. No, it's C.
C.
Yeah. Just put cardigan. Just put cardigan.
Cardigan. But then I'll go and end up going to John Lewis and buying a jumper.
Well, a jumper and then cutting it down the front so it's a cardigan. But yeah, the beaches are just incredible.
I put cardigan in now, and then I'll look back at my notes, my random, and say, what do I put?
Go to cardigan.
Cardigan.
And then explore the beaches around it because it's an incredible.
You don't just because you don't know how. Why? How could you? You don't know.
I don't know how to spell Ceredigion.
Let me put in
Jesus
phonetically.
Ceredigion.
All right.
I'm probably not even saying it right.
What? You live there?
Well, no, it's a county.
Yeah, but still, you live. I know how to spell Cheshire.
Yeah, but I don't have to put it on my address. It's Llandyssil Dyfed.
Oh gosh, yeah. And the only Welsh I know is Gwasanaethau.
Beg your pardon.
Gwasanaethau. That's the services on the motor.
Oh, is it? You're probably not saying it right either. That sounds.
Gwasanaethau. There you go. Well, I put it in now.
But yeah, you should come and check it. Come and check out our piece of land because it's very, very special. We've got a river running through it. It's amazing.
Energy, innit?
And everybody's coming and going, oh my God, we need to live somewhere like this. So it's hard work.
Is it like the Esvedra of Wales?
What does that mean?
Esvedra, the third most magnetic place in the world after the North and South Pole. Well, it's the island Ibiza. Everyone was drawn to it.
Yeah, so a lot of people are being drawn to this part of Wales at the moment. There's a lot of stone circles there. But the stone circle, the stones that they used in Glastonbury are actually from this place. And there's a stone circle near us in a place called Newport.
How do you spell that?
I know how to spell that. But in the Preseli Mountains, I don't know how to spell that. I went there and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was 3 stones with a stone on top, and the stone on top is a spaceship. It's a stone that's the shape of a spaceship, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then that evening we went home and we put some random thing on Netflix. It was about that place and UFO spottings in that area, and we were like, what is going on, man? This is like fucking our brain. But it's incredible, and it's quite unknown, a lot of the places around there. So there's a lot of special energy around there. There's a lot of Merlin energy.
Oh, I'm loving that.
And there's dolphins everywhere. Dolphins, we see dolphins all the time.
Oh, you've sold it to me.
All the time we go to the beach. There's one little town called Newquay that has porpoises.
Newquay?
No, Newquay in Wales.
How'd you spell that?
It's spelled differently. It's like New Quay. You know, like this Salford Keys.
Yeah, Newquay.
Newquay.
Okay.
Newquay.
Oh, no, because I'm looking.
Yeah.
Could be your neighbour. You're going to love that, aren't you? I mean, hiya!
Yeah, but the neighbours, you don't have close neighbours.
No, you don't, do you?
It's because you got land, so it's cool. But it's nice to have neighbours and say hello to people, because I still like that kind of like little bit of interaction. Do you know what I mean? It's just not like millions of people. So it's cool, and just the air, the stars, like
all
just
of it.
Incredible.
And I think a lot of people 5G. Are craving that 5G.
No
Don't
5G,
tell me about
and
that.
no motorways. No 5G, no motorways.
We're craving it now.
Yeah. People. It's like it's instinctive that we want to be part of nature, and that's what these plant medicines are doing. It's like we're supposed to be living in nature, not like detached from it. And in cities, you're very detached from.
It's the Matrix.
From nature, yeah.
I say it to my teenager. I go, how's the Matrix? She's sitting there on her phone or Snapchat or whatever. And I'm like, how's the Matrix, Polly? What's going on in there? And she's like, what? And I go, oh, forget it. But I think, because discovering cacao, discovering like wild swimming all year
cold
round,
water.
Do all that.
At the farm club, do you go?
Go to the farm club. I actually go in I don't pay, so I go in the lake next door, like round the corner, and then I go in the cafe after.
Okay.
You know, still there in the community.
Still Essex girl's still there,
still
isn't she?
there. No, do you know what it is? It's because I can't book something and then be guaranteed to go. So I'll go, let's go for a swim now. So I can't. That's the only reason, because I love them. They're all great, and it's such an amazing place. But
I used to go cold water swimming in Pickmere.
Yeah,
that's where I first met met you.
Was
You
it?
remember, you was chatting. I thought you'd taken coke. You were chatting to me. My girlfriend was sat in the car, and you had your head like just ignoring it, just talking to me like this, like in the car. And like your fella was there, like beautiful man that he is. I think he'd been in some kayak, and you was just chatting to me in my car. I was like, we were like, was that Jenny Powell? I was like, I think so. I was like, was she on something?
See? And I'm not. Oh, it's exhausting, isn't it? I've got the funniest story about Pitmere Lake. Do you want to hear? While swimming. So this is a lake where we've both been, and like go all year round, love it. And I've got one of those big coats, one of those big influx coats, or one of those big dry.
You don't just walk a dog in it and pretend that you go cold water swimming.
So we go there, and there's a guy fishing. And Martin, my other half, and I are like, oh God, we're going to disturb you. Do you mind if we go in the lake at the same time? He's like, no, actually it's good because it brings the fish up to the surface of the water. So I was like, oh great. So he's in his tent, he's a bit stoned or whatever. So we have a swim, we get out, and we're still friendly, you know me, chat. So I'm changing, I'm taking off my gear, in my little coat, and I thought, oh, sod it. It's been lovely to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. He said, oh, you're Jenny Powell, aren't you? I said, yeah, you should follow me, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, go home, and I get a message from him straight away. Hi, Jenny. I think you've left something behind. And I'm like, what? And I was like, question mark, and he put, your knickers.
He could have sold them. He could have got lots of money for them.
What do you want me to do with them? So basically, I was so busy, like you say, chatting.
You forgot your knickers.
That I just got changed. I just because I had the big coat on, I just obviously was chatting so much, I just went home without my knickers on. I left them next to him where he's fishing.
Brilliant.
I never
Did
found out what.
Or did you just trying to get rid of them?
I just said, just chuck them in the bin.
Give them to the lake.
Yeah, give them to the lake. Some
I'll bring the fish up.
Yeah, they were like, what the fuck? So anyway, if you see a random pair of Marks and Spencer's wasty knickers,
a good Pitmere story.
Yeah, it's a good Pitmere story.
So with your journey now, where do you see yourself going with the yoga and everything, or the TV and the kind of
do you know what I keep
composition of it both?
Do you know when you can't help? I know manifestation is sort of partly a conscious thing, isn't it, and partly not, but. The partly not bit is just like, oh God, I think I'm just I won't be staying in the way I am. I think I'll be taking my yoga and just taking my energy elsewhere. I keep thinking about Mexico. I keep thinking about the other side to Ibiza. I've got my energies. When I go to those places, I feel fulfilled, and
it's
I feel
like a vibrational match.
Yeah, and I feel I can give so much more, or I just like the sun. But either way, there's another level, there's a next step, and I'm speaking as somebody who's 56, about to have a hysterectomy, and I feel the most energized and the most proactive and the most positive, and I feel quite generous at the moment to share whatever I can in helping people to be mindful, but also to look after themselves and to live a long and lovely, beautiful life. So hopefully that's what I'm going to do. Keep creating. I don't know.
Embracing the change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am excited. It is a constant. Yeah. I mean, I love Manchester, and I always have something.
Me too, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. You can't. It's there, isn't it? There's an energy here, and there's a beauty about the people here, and I do love it. But I do feel like I'm gonna go elsewhere for a bit, or dip in and out. But I'm certainly going to share my experience and how yoga's helped me, how things like Cacao's helped me, wild swimming's helped me. In any way I can. And I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that I've got two daughters, one's 24, I know, hard to believe, and one's nearly 16. And in the way the world is at the moment, you feel more than ever, you've got to protect them, and you're the one educating them. Yeah. I tell my 50, I said, don't believe anything you get told at school, listen to me. Yeah. Right? If you anything wrong with you, physically,
Or
you listen to me.
these people online that know their shit.
Yeah.
Don't listen to any politicians for
Don't
under
watch
any
TV.
circumstances. I know everybody wants to listen to them and listens to them, but would you want your child to be like any of them? No. So why would you listen to them?
Yeah.
Like, I don't listen to it. I'm actually pissed off with Gary Neville. Do you know why?
Why?
Because, do you know why I'm pissed off with him? Because on his football podcast, The Overlap, I had no idea who Keir Starmer?
Yeah, Keir Starmer,
Keir Starmer. I had no idea that person even existed.
Yeah.
So I've gone on Gary Neville's podcast to watch football, and I'm like, Keir Starmer must be some new international player that's come to the Premier League. And I'm like, he's interviewing a politician. I was like, I don't even want to know about a politician.
No,
and then someone on the beach told me that there was a general election. I was like, when? He went, it was yesterday. I was like, oh, great.
Well, that's a beautiful
I don't even want to know. Yeah.
Good.
And I thought Keir Starmer was like a speech impediment. But apparently it's a human being.
Well, allegedly.
Who apparently,
that's questionable.
Runs the country.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued to know. You want to, when you speak to Gary,
I'm going to tell him off for infiltrating the football podcast. I like listening to football stories.
Stick to the sport and well-being. Don't get involved with any of this politics.
No, until you realise it's all bullshit and it's an illusion.
All bullshit, and that's all I care. I care about, I think because I care so much about my kids, I do realise there's a whole generation of people that need our help.
Yeah.
So...
And guidance.
From
a heart space. And that's what yoga's all about. It's like, can we guide from the heart space? Can we like show people that there's so much more potential within them that they're not utilising?
It's all
like,
there.
I don't know about you, but I know I'm not anywhere near fulfilling all my potential.
No,
and there's probably a handful of people on the planet that actually are fulfilling their whole potential.
Because everything's been cluttered. We'd be distracted and conditioned
for thousands and thousands
of years. And it'll probably take a few rounds of these lives
we've
got.
It's coming. All this positivity that's coming is really beautiful. And it's great to be alive at this moment and to see the shifts that are happening in society.
So all I say, it's a huge part of my vocabulary is shift. I said things are shifting.
Yeah.
So just go with it.
Go with the shift. And enjoy when things are getting like, they feel like they're getting really fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like, they've got to get fucked up, really fucked up to shift, to change. It does, until it's broken. Like,
can't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let it break fully. Yeah, and then new paradigms drop in. So I'm super excited about what the future holds. I'm super excited to see the journey you go on with the yoga and the people that you can influence, because obviously you've got that magnetism that people want to come and work with you. So where is your yoga journey going? Where do you see that going just on a personal level? If you want to start your cacao journey today, head over to www.fullpowercacao.com, and to get 11% off your first order, use the code FULLPOWER2012 at checkout and start to feel that full power vibration today. Now, back to the podcast. Enjoy.
Well, I was trying to, you've told me off, but I want to do a teaching, only because I suppose you've got to have a qualification. As much as I just like to spread the word the way I do, I just do my postures and I know which ones help and stuff. But I'm intrigued to take that somewhere else. And I really, especially for women of a certain age, they're craving it, and I think it's benefited me hugely. And I would love to be able to really help that sort of like generation of postmenopausal women to use yoga as a nurturing tool that will just guide them through to literally make their second half the best half. I know it's a cliche, but well, it's not that much of a cliche.
No, it's the medicine. Like
it's
the yoga's
the
medicine, and the deeper you go into it, you just realise that there's more and more and more levels to it. There's powers and yogic powers. So initially, it's to heal, to help support us with whatever we're going through. But then, as you go a little bit deeper, it's like, oh wow, this is like the keys to universal consciousness, the keys to like manifestation, the keys to understanding psychic powers,
so many
wisdom,
things that you can unlock through it.
Incredible.
So many. So I'll be excited to do that for women of my age, I think, and also to just discover more and more myself. Because I haven't even,
there's so much to it. It's such a huge it's a path to self-realization and enlightenment.
Yeah.
It's a scientifically proven path.
I want to literally glow soon. You know, like you had a big dollop of Ready Breck. Yeah. I want to have that big dollop of Ready. I want to be glowing like that Ready Breck advert.
So what would be your, like, if a woman comes to you and like, Jenny, what are your 3 biggest tips to help me through perimenopausal and menopausal? What would your 3 tips be?
I think the first thing is the realization of what's acceptable and what isn't. Mm-hmm. Because as women, we're all working. We've had children older. We've got, parents you're still looking after. All these things, and your environment's so different. It's easy to neglect yourself and say, "Oh, this is just part of it. These are symptoms." So I just have to deal with it. You don't. So I think it's the realization of what's acceptable and what isn't. Because I've lived with some terrible symptoms, and hence I'm in the situation where I am now, where I have to have a hysterectomy. And if I'd have realized it sooner and done something about it, I wouldn't be in this situation, right? Yeah. So I think that's recognizing in yourself how, your limitations, but also what you should be putting up with and what you shouldn't. Yep. Then I think it's just finding the right connections, the right people, and not necessarily the conventional way. I've done a bit of both. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So getting advice and doing your due diligence as well. And then I think it's just on a spiritual level and a holistic level. I think it's just listening to podcasts like this, women like me, taking what you can from it. And then I'd say yoga without a doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think, as always, medicine is, eat yourself healthy and eating your way to a better health and a better way through the menopause. Everything we need to heal is within us and is in nature. Yeah. It's all there. You don't need to be smashing pills every day. No. So, beautiful. So, this has been all fluffy and magnificent and lovely. But fluffy and magnificent. I love that. That is so true. What's been like the most traumatic part? When you've kind of felt like I've raised from the phoenix here, what's been the lowest point in your life? I suppose it was when my, there's 2 things. When I got divorced, I split up when my youngest daughter was like 10 weeks old. So that's giving birth, but also... Fuck. Yeah, but then also at 10 weeks, your husband and you splitting up. Mm-hmm. So that was really, because your hormones are everywhere and then your whole world falls apart, but you've got a little baby to look after. And that's when I literally couldn't get out of bed. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this is postnatal depression. This is just depression. This is shock of what's going on. And I never thought it would happen to me. So that was when I had to, literally for my children, I had to rise like a phoenix. So what did I do? I went to work. Yeah. Instead of taking time off, I went to work, put that smile on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that. And I accepted help. I took myself off and saw a counsellor, which I never thought I'd do. I never thought I needed anything like that. And then the second one was when my father died. But actually, saying that was actually the most positive experience in a way. It was how I dealt with it. And how, I was sort of lying by his bed. He was sort of at home for in palliative care. We had him at the house for a while, and I used to sleep by his side and he'd wake up in terrible pain. And when I look back, it sounds awful, but actually it was amazing because I was there for him. And he'd say, Jenny, it's an experience. It's a birth, isn't it? It's like a birth. Yeah, and actually being there when he passed was incredible. It was incredible. So did you feel the energy like you feel within a birth? Because that's when the DMT is released. Yeah. And you feel that energy within the room. It was just, it was amazing. It was beautiful. Amazing. And I'd read up about it the night before. Mm-hmm. And then it happened, just like textbook, it happened. Yeah. And you know what I did? I knew he was going to die, and I put on. He'd been in this country since the 1950s, but always gone back to South Africa. But I put on because they had a TV in the hospice, and it was the documentary, The Octopus Teacher. Oh yeah. South African. In Hout Bay, where my father used to love swimming, even though it was freezing. So I had that one in the back. Obviously, he couldn't. His eyes were closed then, but he could still hear. Yeah. So he had the sound of the waves. He had the South African movie on, and it was all kind of in place, and it was just the perfect sort of scenario, really. So actually, that wasn't traumatic,
but it was beautiful.
But it was a beautiful trauma.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be a trauma. It's to make something that most people think is a trauma, to realise that the truth of it is that it's a beautiful experience that we should enjoy.
Seriously,
and we should
was.
welcome, and we should be appreciative of. And obviously just to celebrate that being. And like when you're talking about your dad, then I felt like he was coming in and I felt the emotion in a beautiful way, not in the like, oh my God, it's like,
and his
beautiful.
Last breath. It was, I will never forget his last breath.
Yeah.
And I'd even read about that. And he just literally, they said there'd be short breaths and then it'll just go. And he literally was lying there and he went, and that was it.
Boom. Back to spirit.
Perfect ending to a podcast. Your last podcast breath.
Full power, fully dead. Jenny Powell, it's been absolutely incredible to have you on the show. And keep smiling, keep glowing that smile. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you can't stop me.
Thank you for all the moments that you've given so many people in the UK on TV.
That's so
over
lovely,
the years.
honestly.
It's,
thank you.
Amazing. I think you used to fuck up a lot on what was it called? Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
It was like part of your thing, wasn't
I was
it?
so
It was like,
bored.
when's she got to fuck up today?
I was like, they go, Jenny, you forgot to turn the letter around. I go, oh, sorry, I was thinking about what I was going to get everyone for Christmas. It's so boring standing up here. I was like, oh, God, what do you want me to do? Can you get someone else to do this? I literally used to have notches on the, not on the bedpost, but literally for how many, but I've only got 163 shows to do this year.
Right.
And I used to go, notch them all
Brilliant.
off. But yeah, it was, I'm glad it gave some people pleasure, but it was really
funny.
boring.
He was funny. It was hilarious.
Well, I brought something to it. I don't know what, but
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for what you're doing.
Nice one.
Because I thought, oh, there he is. And then I thought, oh my God, oh my gosh, this is just, it was meant to be. So I will spread the love as much as I can.
Appreciate
and
it.
I'm going to come back, I'm going to come to your next cacao ceremony.
Your name's down.
Boom.
Yeah.
+1, please.
+1.
Thanks.
You're in.
Always in for a freebie.
You're in. Right. Nice one, darling. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Love you lots.
We love you.
Yeah. Mean it.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.